Hey there, welcome. This is Shruti, and this is part one of How to Start a Blog series. Today, we are going to be talking all about how to pick your blogging niche to make sure that it is going to be profitable, it is going to be long lasting, and it's going to be something that you can actually create a career out of. But before we start, make sure to check out my free blogging masterclass where I walk you through the 3 secret strategies to becoming a successful blogger, which is linked in the description box below. So, when we're talking about a niche, let's talk real basics of exactly what it means to have a niche. Now, first things first, a niche, simply put, is just an industry or an audience that you're going to target with your blog. So let's say that you are a dog trainer and you want to start a blog which is all about dog training and you want to create content around it, then your industry or your niche is going to be dog training. You also, for example, can pick an audience. So, for example, if your audience is going to be school going children and you want to talk to parents who have school going children, then your niche is going to be school going children or parenting with school going children, right? That's going to be your niche. So, first thing to keep in mind here is that even though it is important to have some clarity on what your niche or your industry of your blog is going to be about, because it is absolutely critical in your long-term blogging success, it doesn't mean that your niche can't change. So a lot of people think that they have to get this one thing right, and if they screw up, then there is no going back. That's really not true. When you own your own website and your own blog, you can pivot as many times as you want. You can change your niche as many times as you want. You can add, subtract, and eliminate things that you don't like. So even if you pick the first niche that you're going to start your blog with, it is okay if that niche changes, and it is okay if that's something that is not fulfilling you a couple of years down the line and you decide to change it. For example, when I first started my blog, I actually was blogging in the expat travel niche. From then I moved to the travel niche, then to the lifestyle niche, and now I'm in the digital marketing niche. So I've actually changed a lot of niches in the last 5 years, but I've done it intentionally and I've done it after strategically building each of my blogs to a point where they were profitable. So what should you look for when you're looking for a profitable niche, right? How do you go about identifying what niche speaks to you the most and what niche is going to be the best for you? So the first thing that I always tell my students as well as everyone else that I coach when it comes to picking the right niche is to identify what are your interests, hobbies, or passions. So let's say that you are interested in cryptocurrency and you are looking forward to start a blog in that. Then that is going to be an interest that you have, or maybe even a hobby that you've developed on the side. What's really critical here is to understand whether you are just interested in something because it sounds hot and trending at the moment, or is it something that you actually feel is going to be long lasting. So a lot of people try to jump on trends and try to kind of make the most of something viral or trending. But you also have to understand whether or not you have the right knowledge and skill set to be providing information to your readers in that particular niche. So I don't mean that you have to be an expert, but it is important to be realistic about what is the kind of knowledge that you have in that niche and what you could offer to your audience. So one thing to keep in mind here is when you're analyzing your interests and hobbies and passions, maybe put them down into 2 buckets. So put them down in, the fascinating ideas which maybe you don't have that much experience in, and the ideas that you have sort of developed by yourself and that you do have experience in. Now, this experience could range from having a degree in that particular industry, so maybe you went to school to learn finance, or it could range from just you having a side hustle where you kind of, invest and trade in crypto on the side, and that is how you realize that this is a passion of yours. It doesn't matter. What I want you to do here is to understand which of the industries are something that sound exciting to you but may not be the best fit for you skill wise, because you want to make sure that you are picking an industry or a niche that you can stick around, for at least the next 2 to 3 years, because any blog that you start is going to take a while before it gets traction and starts getting discovered on Google. So you want to make sure that you're not picking a niche which is just kind of hot and happening at the moment and that you kind of in passing feel excited about, but you're going to get bored about it a couple of months down the line. So you want to be picking a niche which has longevity, and you also want to be picking a niche which you are extremely passionate about or skilled at, so that you don't lose your motivation to keep blogging and you don't lose out on, in the long run, when let's say that your blog is not having the best results, you don't just give up on it, but you continue going because you are just so excited about that topic. Alright, so once you have written down your ideas and you know exactly what are the topics that you could be looking at, the next step here, which is super critical and most people forget about it, is validation. Now, what I mean by validation is making sure that there is a demand for your niche. Not every random niche out there is going to be monetizable and is going to have products and services that you can offer or brands that you can partner with. Now, even though it is totally possible for you to pick a niche and be successful at it, even if nobody's ever heard about it, specifically if if you time it right and you have a lot of knowledge and you're really someone who has been blogging for a while and you are just picking a micro niche and you go after it and you get success. If this is the first time you're starting a blog, I would rather recommend that you stick to a niche that either already has demand or is going to have demand in the long run. Now, what do I mean by having demand? So having demand simply means that a niche is competitive. This means that there are other players in the market, because here's what I need you to understand. If you pick a niche that nobody else is interested in, that has zero audience, that has zero companies, that has zero products and zero services, how the heck are you going to be able to make money off of that blog, right? So I'm assuming you're here today because you're serious about starting a blog and you're serious about growing your blog into a profitable business. And you cannot do that if you start out in a niche which has zero demand or has very low demand or no interest. Now, again, this will really differ based on where you are. So you might have a niche which is very popular in a country like India, but it's not really popular in a country like Germany or United States. So you have to kind of see and assess that as well. So which region are you, looking at? Which audience are you targeting? So which age group are you targeting? What demographics are you targeting? Are you going to be targeting women? Are you going to be targeting men? Are you going to be targeting people with high school degrees, people with postgraduate degrees, and so on and so forth? So when you're doing the research in phase 1, where you're figuring out, okay, these are the topics that I'm interested in phase 2, you're going to do research on validating these topics and figuring out if the demand exists. Now, one of the best ways for you to figure out whether or not demand exists is to see whether or not there is any kind of keyword search happening in that niche. So how many people are searching for your niche every single month in the country that you hope to, have your audience in. Now, thanks to free tools like Ubersuggest and also Pinterest Trends, you're able to actually do a lot of keyword research without having to pay anything first. So let me take you over to my computer and show you exactly how I would do keyword research to understand whether or not a niche has any potential. Alright, so when we add in the keywords dog training, which we used as an example earlier, what you can see is that this keyword has a search volume of about 135,000 people every single month. And when you scroll down, you can also see tons of other keyword ideas and their volume as well. Let's try another niche now. So when I search make money online, I again come up with a search volume which is pretty high, which is 74,000 people who are searching this niche every single month. And then again, I can see what is the volume of people looking for things every single month. So when you're doing this research on Ubersuggest, I would not recommend going after ideas which have less than 10,000 search views every single month, because if only 10,000 people in a country are searching for that keyword, chances are that your website will not be able to show up in one of those 10,000 very easily, and it's going to be quite a while before you'll be able to get significant traffic or visitors to your blog. And hence I would recommend not aiming for niches where all the keywords have less than 10,000 monthly search views, because those are probably niche ideas which are too small and are not going to be super relevant when you are a new blogger. Now, of course, this does not stand true if you've been blogging for a while and you already have expertise in establishing blogs. In that case, you can go after the smaller niches as well and target them, because you already have all of the other fundamentals in place that you need, which we're going to be discussing also in the rest of this series. Okay, so once you have your ideas list and now you have the validation where you have noted down exactly what the monthly demand of that particular niche looks like, I want you to then look for proof of concept. Now, this means that you're going to look for existing bloggers in the niche and try to see if you can find out any income reports or any statistics or any data about that industry. Now, again, depending on the niche you pick, this may or may not be available. So niches like finance, health, lifestyle, fitness, the more popular niches tend to have a lot of data around income and blogging numbers, but some of the smaller, newer niches might not have that. So you have to have a little bit of subjectivity here in doing this research. The reason why I want to do this is to understand whether or not there is scope for you to make money in this niche, because even after you do the keyword research phase, which is where you validate exactly how many people are looking for that particular niche or topic idea, you still need to see whether or not anybody else found success in this niche, because chances are if nobody has ever been successful in this niche, you probably also won't be. Pretty much every idea that you've thought of has already been executed or implemented in some way. So you only can either do it better or in a different way, and you can only make that happen if there is a potential in that niche for making money. So this is why when you look up at different bloggers or income reports or even industry trends and data, that might also influence your decision when it comes to finally picking a niche out of all of the different ideas that you have in place. And like I said before, just because you picked a niche right now, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in that niche for the rest of your life. You could expand, you could pivot, you could change that niche over time. So make sure to be smart and strategic and try to pick a niche that is going to be with you in the long run and is also going to be the right foundation for a profitable business. Now, if you want to learn more about what it takes to pick the right niche, check out my free blogging masterclass, which is linked in the description box below, where I walk you through step by step and examples of exactly how to do the same. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to ensure that you're able to see the rest of the videos in this series. I'll see you in the next one.